Alright, so what we're going to do this game then is to prolong the game, but we're also going to prepare to be able to rush. We want to go rush build, but not commit to the rush, yeah? That's what we're going to do in this game. We're playing Goat, and that's the least rushy clan, or at least people think so at least. First thing you want to do is build a scout and a house, and you want to take a look at the tiles around you if you can with the camera settings here. This is defended. Turn 2 people into scout so you can see the tiles around you immediately. This looks like a forest. Let's take a look at this tile first of anything. Or was there a wolf moving there? No, it wasn't. Yeah, let's swap. There we go. So, right, yes indeed. Now, we didn't get undefended forest, meaning we're going to place down our woodcutter lodge. We might as well do it. Since if we would have not been defended, we would have just waited, colonized, and put the woodcutter lodge in here. Now this is a good first capture for obviously several reasons. Got the same starter until the Axor camp. No, they don't. Definitely not. Wolf. No, it's depending on your tiles. If I had, say, food here and food here, I would go a different opening that if I had 2 shipwrecks, for example. You go different openers, but yeah, for the general thing we're going to achieve here, we're going to lay a plan, yeah? The plan here will be to get gold to prepare for an attack in the first summer, late fall, and second winter, to be prepared to defend against rush and set up for mid game, late game build with the goat clan. So what we're doing is we're scouting around, and we need to decide on a tile to take first here. We're scouting for middle, which I can see is here, for that extra 50 fame. The first tile we're going to take is this one. There's 2 reasons. We want food immediately to place our sheepfold, and we want the ruins, which will give us faster trading through the lore that we're going to get. And one other reason, when we take this tile, we open up to more wolf attacks by these 2 tiles, which we normally wouldn't have. So we're going to take this one as soon as possible. Have fun. And we're keeping just 1 guy at cutting wood. Oh, okay, rip. Fight them with as many as possible to reduce the damage taken on your villager when you get wounded, so it's easier for you to heal them up later on. Everything fighting in the long game. Every little thing matters, and also when you reach 4 wounded, you're going to have 1 negative happiness, which can fuck you over a bit. So now the plan here is to take this tile, explore the ruins with the 1 scout that's going to return, and the other scouts will put out food or woodcutting. And we're also instantly going to build a sheepfold there to employ our sheep. That will give us +6 food, meaning that we will be able to put more people at cutting wood, for example, and doing other stuff. Now, immediately build the sheepfold. We're going to starve. However, if you don't starve for more than 1 month, you're not going to be sick. So I have a -6, but when these 2 return, we're going to have more. So we're going to put 2 of them into villagers, make this wounded villager into a scout. Reason as to why we're going into villager and then into scout is we want to reset this timer on the sickness timer. So now we get the ruins. That's 100 gold and 50 lore points, meaning we will immediately get the trading. Put these 2 sheeps in here. Now we can see we're going +9 into +12, +6 from the sheepfold, and that's without having to employ any villager, which is obviously very good. Now, next thing we want to do now is to get a training camp, and we want this tile. We don't need it, but we want it because we want to make an Axor camp in here and clear everything around us. This scout, by the way, we're not going to make him into a villager when he's done with that. We need him to clear more stuff. We need to see what's up in these two tiles, as well as in this tile, since we want to see what's ahead of us when we're going to expand. We want this tile early on. Same with this one though, so we can explore the shipwreck. So now we got this tile, and we also have enough wood to make the Axor camp. We're almost done with the normal training camp here. There we go. Making it far back in the tile. Reason being, when you place a defense tower, you want it here, as far back from the enemy as possible. Meaning the attacking force has to run farther, yeah? Okay, now for that attack, what we want to do is we're going to wait for this guy to finish. Or will we be able to? Yeah. We want the wounded one, or the one that's already wounded, to tank it so we don't get more people with 20% reduced production. And obviously we're going to need more damage then if we want to do that. As in more damage from the villagers, so that it doesn't die before the wolf kills it. Wow, sloppy micro by me. I put trading first. Oh. Wow, all that for nothing. That's nice. Whoa, so sloppy. Well, at least we can just put one of the wounded, this guy for example, or this guy, into the Axor, so that he's already wounded anyways, it won't matter. Now let's explore. And once we clear this, we're going to take it and send a new scout to claim the shipwreck. 200 wood and 100 gold from the shipwreck, by the way. We can also afford to put one lore master for that increased lore production up there. Unlocking the lore bonuses early is important, because they mean quite a lot in the long run. Now, you can see I can now afford to feast. However, it's not really something you want to do. Each time you feast, it increased the cost on the feast exponentially, and when you feast, you increase your percentage of your production. Meaning, now in the early game, we don't really get that much raw resources from it, yeah? So you want to save it as long as possible. Plus that 500 fame, you will also get a bonus for... what's it called? Yeah, 20% more HP on your units when you're feasting. Military units and towers, that is. Oh, what happened? Okay. Now, let's keep clearing. This is the tile we're going to take next. Or actually, I'm saying this one. We won't open up to wolf attacks from these two. Plus we'll be getting our iron. It's a better tile. It's a better pick for sure. And we will also open up to here. You forgot the house again. Yeah, I did. As you noticed there, I forgot the house. Now I'm supply capped. That's no biggie really. You can survive. Small mistakes is okay. You can still win. Okay. First thing we want to do when we get this tile, which has 20% increased lumber production, is we're going to build a woodcutter's lodge there. And we can tear this one down. I'm pretty comfortable we can do that. Also, we want to build a food silo in here. Even though there's dare in here, you don't want them. You want to have the villagers improved and the sheep wool working with plus 10. We get the sharp axes next. Going to help us more than any of these would. Plus we're going for industrious and amenities. Now, one important part of anti-rush is that you want to scout the enemy, as well as get your iron and gold for an army. So now we're at the first winter. By here we should have enough for a war chief and at least 4 to 6 throwers. or bears, depending on what the enemy is going. That's where scouting comes in. Okay. Now move all the villagers into this tile with 10% increased food production. Yeah. Now for the scouts, let's have him scout offensively toward the enemy. We want to see what's going on. Okay, double attack. Should have used my axe thrower. Kinda forgot about it. Whoa, and I paid dearly for it as well. That's my third wounded, and he will now produce 20% less for until I get a healer set. We might just need to get a healer set early now. We also don't want low health people when we're being attacked if you're going against a rush. Okay, now that's fine. Put him back to being a lore master. We can definitely afford to put a healer set here. And let's go clear these wolves. Let's take a look at win conditions. He's got more money than me. However, I only found 400, so that doesn't say too much. But he probably has more. Or he could just have active merchants or sailors, which will also improve your rating for some reason. Fame. I have more fame. But obviously I got a middle, so I'm going to have more fame from that. However, not 5%. This means I have colonized more zones than him, he's used less food, he's prioritized something else. When it comes to wisdom, he's behind me again. He's not having people as lore masters, or didn't find treasure, that might be it as well. We will see. And by this, you can also tell that he's closer than I am to the middle objective. Okay, we're definitely going this next into this one for the sheep. We really want to know what's here though before we commit, but we need to see the enemy. So what we can see are through the gray area. He's not there. He's not here either. He's scouting that way. He's probably coming from here. Let's keep on scouting him. And Lord, oh wow. Okay. Let's have him heal our extra a bit. Keep scouting for him. See where he's at. Now we need more gold income, as you can see. Let's do that by a longship dock here. In team games, trading posts is really nice since you get more from trading with your allies. Plus they get the resource you're trading away instead of your enemy. If I trade him food, he's going to receive +2. That's not good. That's not good at all. We don't want to help him. You never use simple warriors. No, only if the enemy is going shield bearers. Warriors counters shield bearers. Shield bearers counter axe throwers, and axe throwers counters warriors. It's simple as that. Rock, paper, scissors. That's how simple it is. Okay, we definitely need the iron now. We should be getting it very soon. Let's see. Is this? I should have scouted this by now. I needed to know if this was a sea tile, but we're going from coinage anyways. But that we won't need yet. So let's actually go for weaponsmith here, just in case. The reason being, we want to go for the barricades if they attack us. People say goat is not very well handled, very well fit to handle a rush. However, with the barricades, increase your civilians' resistance by 30% per building and area. They would have 150% increased health in this region right here. Imagine that. One woodcutter would have 100 HP. That's more than a shield bearer with the bonus from the lore that the bear player has. Okay, let's colonize now. We can afford it. Build the woodcutter we're going to build, as well as a house. We can build a house here. Now he's done healing. And let's put someone obviously at getting this one. we want Woodcutter's Lodge, and we want a mine. By the way, it's slightly better to put it closer, just slightly. Going to save a few seconds. Since to deplete a miner needs to hit it as a last hit. So you might save a few seconds. Nothing great though. But it's just small things that improves your gameplay a little bit. Clearing things around me, obviously, so I can settle into them. Now, we have him scouted. Let's take a bit of time here to grab information and keep scouting. He's got a warrior camp in here. Healer's hut. Generally, people don't go healer's hut for a rush build, so that's a good thing for us. Okay, let's make the iron we need. And let's move a woodcutter from that side. Remove the lodge. Move this guy into here. Okay. How are they doing? Our economy is obviously a bit bad since we scouted this path and this path. I should have focused my effort into one of them, meaning I would have scouted them earlier. Okay, it's being harassed by wolves pretty hard here. That's good. It annoys me that I cannot see more. Well, what we do know, he's got this tile, there's one here, and one here. He's got very few tiles. That's good for us. And also, as you can see, he's at 117 fame, meaning that he will most likely not get a 200 bonus from Stag for the huge resource boost, meaning he's not going to be able to do the rush efficiently. So at this point, oh, let's hope he explores it. Yeah, he's committing to a fisherman's hut as well. This guy is not rushing. What we're going to do then is we're going to do into the other areas. Let's get mining efficiency. And start clearing this as well. Once we're done with this, we can convert our Axor into something else. Okay. Now, as you can see here, I don't have too much gold, but I have one Axor. I have 150 for the War Chief. I have the iron, meaning that I would be able to buy the War Chief, plus with the war camps I have, 4 throwers. And if I saw the rush coming, I could also build a defense tower. Plus, I had the choice of going barricades. This means, altogether, I would have been able to held off at least, let's say, War Chief plus 8 warriors at least. But at the very least. Probably more. With good micro. As for the winter rush by the bear, I'm not 100% sure how that would have pinned out. I would have had to go for warriors, meaning I could at least build one more camp and get more units from it, which would be nice. This guy is going to die. Let's just explore that one. Okay, now what do? We can remove one miner, put him onto food. We have no pure food, so you can basically tank the first wolf rush. Yeah, I can. I can definitely do that now. However, I cannot defend all my tiles with towers. I would have had to sacrifice tiles, put it in my main tile in this position, since he could go from here. But you would also see where it's coming from. If it's coming from here, you want to build it here. Like you can see, he's clearing his way here. Build it here. Okay. Now, what can we do here to help us achieve our goals faster? Let's make you into a villager. We're going bad on food, really bad. We can improve tools. What do we improve? We improve the woodcutters. And nothing more really. Having a quite lousy gamer. Because of the food situation I put myself in. Or well, put myself, not much I could have done differently about the food. And we needed to take this over this as well. But we are going to get it before winter, which is okay. We can toggle military display, so that we will see when he's converting into soldiers, and we can prepare earlier. Set the tower. Why don't you build a hunter camp instead of having villagers, since you got so much wood? Good question. Plus 30 from villagers, plus 7 from sheepfold, 2 upgraded hunters. No, two hunters in himself would give 10. I'm pretty sure 10 or 11, depending on if you improve tools or not. We would be able to, so that would be 11, meaning they would be giving 3 more food than what I already have in this tile. However, the food silo increases the sheepfold by +1, and 7 villagers, they, oh well, when I actually place them in the tile, obviously, they produce, what do they produce again? 4 each. I can do the math. Let's see. Calculator. 7 times 4 times 1.1. Oh, wow, I did it wrong. 7 times 4 times 1.1. So we go from 27 production with just the villagers to 30.8. That's exactly the same as the hunters would do on their own. Meaning we are getting 1 more from these two. Now another bonus from having the hunters that you cannot measure is if he were to rush me now, I would have hunters to defend with. And as long as he's not going shield bearers, for me, that means I would have been able to employ my people as hunters, which obviously is good, as we saw in earlier matches. Hunters can stand from afar and deal damage to the enemy, and you can easily single out, let's say, a warrior, axor, or a war chief with the hunters, killing them really fast. So that's obviously a point when doing that. Okay, we actually want to scout here now, see if we're going to continue up here. We are going to meet him soon, though. Now, let's take a look at him, what he has in his tiles. He's only got 1 training camp. He's still struggling with wolves, he's not clearing around him. He's not going to be very offensive this game. What we can do then is we can actually colonize this just ahead of him, locking him in as well, and taking the ruins. However, this is more worth to us anyways. We're going for this tile. 2 sheep and the deer, which is just insane for us as a goat player. I don't. Oh yeah. And now let's take a look. We have a lot of wood. We have decent amount of crowns and iron. We can also improve tools for free. Let's improve the farmers. And next up, we can just build a sheepfold already to prepare for when we're going to take this. Put them into this tile, since you already also have a food silo here. Notice, by the way, that I'm building to surround my tower. If I were to play, oh, well, yeah, I could place it here now, and it would be hard to surround because of the food silo. I don't think the sheepfold works at all, more or less. Okay, we have discovered that tile. We're not going for it. How much stone do we have? We need to look into that. We have 30 here, none here, and we can also get 25 here. Okay. Because of industrious, I should have checked that out before going into mining efficiency even. Since if you have like no stone and no iron, you don't go this path at all. Then it's quite useless. Now, by the way, we can upgrade this area and start harvesting this stone. Since I have amenities, it only costs me 20 gold to upgrade an area, improve rather, which is obviously huge. Now you can see our food production is really starting to kick off here. Plus 20. That's huge. Going to help us a lot. In duel, it's really important to keep looking at your enemy. Now, obviously, from the information that we gather here, we could just kill him. But for the sake of the guide, let's just prolong the game and see how we could win on the different conditions here. Also, one thing, check by your victory conditions every now and then, see how you're doing. Yeah, I can see that I have more gold. He's not likely to be able to attack me, especially since I have 500 in stock. I have more fame, obviously, we can see on the amount of tiles, and the fact that I have discovered middle, 4 plus 50. Wisdom, I have a lore master employed, he probably doesn't, and I also have from Longship Dock. Plus I got from the ruins. Now, let's see, what do we want to do next? We want to capture this one. And we're going to take Industrious. All buildings can be assigned an additional villager if they are upgraded, which is going to help us a lot. If we now take this, we're going to be able to instantly upgrade things, but we don't want to do that before we get this, to be honest, since we're setting up for late game. We want to take the happiness to prolong the time needed before we get a brewery. Now we have this tile, let's get the hunters. Turn it around, flip it, come on, okay, never mind then I guess. Let's just place the tower for now. We're not going to build it there, but we want to see how tight we can build it. There we go. Then we can tear it down, it's all good. So that we know that we can fit a tower in there. Well, what? Oh well, never mind that then. That's weird. That's weird. Now, we can also start feasting. Let's do it after we're done building here. Middle level game. That's why we're calling middle level game, to get the plus 50 fame. Exactly, meaning you will reach your bonuses just that much faster. Imagine if he had discovered middle. He would be getting his 150 wood, crowns, food, and 10 stone from the 200 bonus. That's exactly why. The first building you can only upgrade is Town Hall. Faster production of villagers, which is obviously nice. Now, let's take a look at the map. This path will lead us to a lot of stone. We might be going for these two actually, for a late game build here. And you also definitely want to take this tile. Even if it was a shit tile, you want this tile, since otherwise he can just run straight into your main tile and defend that. Let's say I have this tile and he attacks me here. I can take my time to set up a defense here and meet him on the border with as much prepped defense as I can. However, if you go straight into this, I just need to do it on his terms. Obviously that's bad. Even if you have a better army, you might still lose just by that. Now, we want to start thinking more about trading, as in Golden Crown. Let's get ourselves double up here. And yeah, we can colonize here. However, I want to double colonize, to be honest, up to this one. Or I could just build a tower and live with them for the rest of the game. Okay, let's send this guy to scout here, see if there's any better options before we do anything or rush here. At 20 population we will be needing a upgraded house, keep that in mind. And we're not too far off the carpentry master here. Okay, now we can tell he's actually going for me. Okay. So what we do then, we pull our units away, and we can convert people into, let's say, 1 war chief and 4 throwers. Meanwhile, now I'm going to show you why hunters are good. Okay, control group 2, control group 3. Control grouping your army is essential. Now, let's see, I can have this guy. I can target and use different groups, meaning my army micro will be so much better. I will be able to tell people what to do so much easier. Now, obviously, he won't be able to do anything against me when I have a bigger army. Let's poke him a bit. You didn't scout the shipwreck, right? I did. That's the first thing I did. let's counterattack him here. Focus on a single warrior first. Singling them out, moving the axe throwers away. Okay. Now. Okay, so let's just convert these back. We'll show them that we won. For the sake of the guide. What the fuck, there's control group in the game. There is indeed. So, if you press your war chief and press Control 2, next time I click on the 2 button while having something else pressed, I will target him. And also, if you double click on 2, like now, the camera will focus on him, meaning this will help you so much. Okay, now we can feast. We can throw a feast now. Definitely a good time for a feast. Get that going. Heal people up. Get more crowns. And coinage again. Hello Fuji. When we're playing goats, obviously we want the setup that I'm running. And destroy this. Make a hunter's lodge now, that there's room in there. There we go. Put them into a tile with food silo again. And let's see, now what do we do? We wanted to double colonize, or we wanted to go up here. Let's see what this yields. Stones. We could definitely go for stones, meaning we wouldn't need to mine these two. Sheep. Yeah, we're going this route. Now, what you need to keep in mind there, we've blocked him off. He needs to cross Valkyries to get to us, which is a really tough opponent. So, once that we know that we blocked him off like that, we might as well get our tower up immediately. Okay, there we go. Healers are done. Only one wounded and it's a scout, so we cannot heal him up. Now, we could build here, but we know that he's not going to attack us. However, if you know that you're prone to attack, make sure you have a tower in your closest way to your tunnel. Now, we could upgrade stuff, boost our production, but as I said earlier, we're waiting for the lore here. Okay, not get wounded, please. Thank you. Died. Our scout died. Well, that sucks for him, I guess. Okay, we might as well just clear these wolves out. Throw another. No, never feast during winter. Almost did it myself there. When you feast during winter, you improve the production. A feast improves the production of your villagers by 20%, 30% if you're a goat player. It's a passive. Now, obviously, during winter you have a reduced production of both wood and food, meaning that the 20% of a reduced production is obviously going to help you less than, say, a full production. So you avoid feasting during the winter for that very reason. Okay, so next up, yeah, let's go and clear that. We have our tower ready. It will buy us some time. And also, let's set up a scout camp. And get these ruins. We will also... Oh, well, we don't need it. Let's just move him into a tile here with food production. Now, we want to improve the tools. We have 18, and we've already increased everything we want in terms of the army. We have a war chief, we don't have to buy him. We have increased our axe throwers attack speed, no attack power. We want to improve this guy, and one more, which will be the merchants. You always pick what gives your clan the most. Woodcutters, farmers, hunters, and merchants is the biggest part of my economy. The reason that's why I'm not improving one more is that first off, it's not going to give me a big trade-off, and secondly, I want to be able to buy a new war chief should I have to. Okay, let's heal up whatever is damaged, and the trading posts. So after the first attack or the first defense, you got to do it's not a problem to transfer all your army back to villagers. That depends. If you're doing an all-in push and you fail, or well, if you fail, you die, so that's nothing. It's not a problem transferring back. But if let's say I fought off the attacker, killed his units, but he would have been able to defend with hunters and shit like that, I would have just turned them back into. He would have lost that fight, losing villagers, and I would have been on a stronger point because I got to keep my 4 villagers. Yeah, I mean you're supposed to have enough gold if he comes again. Yeah, I do now, as you can see. And also at this point in the game, or earlier, to be honest, sloppy by me, you should build more war camps to allow for a bigger army. So now let's build that. And also to note, you build most, well, you build one of each in a 1v1, and then you build what you're going to build the most of, because when you upgrade a war camp, let's take a look at that. 125, yeah, we have a lot of crowns now. When you upgrade a war camp, gain +1 warband size, meaning more soldiers, and increase your warriors' resistance by 10%. And this stacks. If you have 10 upgraded war camps, it's 100%. I'm not sure if it works 10% and then, like say 110%, yeah, into 121%. I don't know if it increases like that, or if it's just a flat HP rate you're getting. I'm not sure. Probably someone knows, but I don't know. I can test it, I guess. Can actually test it this game, probably. So now, and another thing to note when thinking about that, what to upgrade, shield bearers definitely benefit the most, because 10% of the resistance of a shield bearer is going to be more than that of an axe thrower. Shield bearers have double the HP of an axe thrower, meaning they will get 2 HP for every 1 HP that an axe thrower gets, which is quite crucial, obviously. The reason as to why I'm killing these, by the way, is because they can now attack me. They migrate when they get too many in one tile. Let's take a look at the victory conditions. Okay, we're doing quite well on everything. He's still behind on trade. He's not likely to have more money than me. I have 600. Now let's start upgrading buildings, since we got carpentry mastery. What do we want to upgrade first? Now, food production is obviously important, and this woodcutter lodge will help me so much with the wood. Now that we start improving, you're going to notice I will be short on wood. Let's upgrade. Even if I upgrade now my woodcutters, I will be short on wood. Next up, let's do the fields. Normally you want to do a food silo. However, when you also have this tech already, you want to do the fields, because now I can employ 2 more into the fields here. Yeah, we don't need to explore that. Let's just have this guy become a hunter as well. And now, something I forgot about early on here. I forgot to make a brewery. Now, where do we want to place it? Usually you want it close to a warband. That's general, by the way. You always want to have your war camps spread around, meaning that if you are to be backstabbed here, I have some units I can convert into at once. And if you want to do rush him in, if you see like he's being attacked by 5 Draugr and is really struggling, and you want to attack his front while he's struggling with that, you want to be able to go at once, yeah? So I place one here, do like this, right click, shield bearer, instantly. Okay. We're losing happiness because we want better houses. Let's get that. And also, one thing more. Barricades. Increase your civilians' resistance by 30% per building in the area. We obviously want to have that maxed out in our main tile. Let's get that. We need to repair a burning building here. Now, what victory condition do we want to go for? Now for trade, I've set up really nicely for trade now. I have coinage. I have 2 of these in the same tile. I have industrious. I can have 8 merchants here now if I upgrade these 2, which all have 20%, 20%, 15%, 20% increased production. And it's it stacks. So when you have 120% from upgrading this one, and you upgrade this one as well, you're going to have you're not going to get 20%. You're going to get 24% increase, because you also get 20% of the initial upgrade. So it stacks up. And yes, fields over hunters. They produce more yearly. There's math to it, basically. There's a spreadsheet you can get. So now let's take a look. The Jotnar, by the way, when you have the Jotnar here, you can trade them food. That's an option. And when you do that, they will eventually be friendly to you. You can colonize the area, and you will get one of the warriors. One of their warriors will be yours. 20 damage, 350 resistance. Those numbers are just so huge that he can single-handedly turn a fight. So much as well. Okay, so as for win condition, by the way, we can wrap up this game very soon. We can get 2000 food and colonize in Yggdrasil. Or we can go for Altar of Kings, because that will give us +2 food, +2 wood, +2 crowns, +2 lore, and this is production, by the way, as well as 50 fame. And it's also required for the win conditioner, build the Altar of Kings for the fame win, as well as owning 12 tiles. Okay, yeah, I forgot to put people at a brewery. We can feast again. Now, if we're going for, say, Yggdrasil, we want to improve our food production above anything else. We don't want this to be upgraded. If we're going for the trade win, which is collect 9,000 crowns, have 1,000 crowns appear in stock, and have 4 active merchants, we want to upgrade these first. Merchants or sailors, by the way. So what do we want to go for? Obviously in this game, it's whatever. We could have done anything. But you usually do what is easiest for you. So in my position, I have 2 options. I can attack him, kill him by a domination victory, but that's not interesting, I guess. So we will take Yggdrasil. Now, to take the Yggdrasil, you first need to clear the Valkyries. They're very, very hard to kill. 75 resistance and 15 attack power. Meaning one Valkyrie is, no, 2 of them is stronger than a War Chief, since they will do double the damage at the same time. Okay, now let's have this guy become a brewer, because happiness, you currently have +2, meaning that one new villager will join your clan every 40 days. The more happiness you have, the faster people join your game. No, people join your clan, I mean, sorry. Feasting also gives +2 happiness, so that's something to think about. Now, let's see, what do we do? Let's go for the Yggdrasil victory condition. So what we do, as I said earlier, we improve the food production everywhere. Go for the food silo here. No, this one first. And improve the sheepfold. Now, obviously, we're going to move these 2 up here, since when you upgrade the sheepfold, it's huge. They produce 50% more food. Every sheep produces 50% more food. So now, an upgraded, a sheepfold with 2 sheep and no food silo gives +6 food. Let's see what 4 of them do in an upgraded one with an upgraded food silo. +22. So that's just insane. Is it often that you play a game for that long? No, definitely not. By the 3rd, or well, yeah, it happens. 3rd winter we're approaching now. Usually the rushes are coming right before 2nd winter, during 2nd winter, or after 2nd winter. Then now we are in mid-game. As for these things, what do we want? Trading food increases your trading routes crowns income by 100%. Now we want to, we could trade with them. to get their warrior. However, since we are going for a food victory win here by colonizing this area, we don't want to trade away our food now, do we? Reminds me, by the way, I have to turn it off with them. We can also just start trading to this guy, even if we lose so much. Most of the games ends by domination. Yeah, it does indeed. Now, let's see. Recruitment, cooking mastery. Reduce marketplace prices by 30%. We can do this one, for sure. There we go. Improve food production again. Cut away the lore now. We don't need it. Oh, rip. Well, that's bad. Misplay. Now we need to start to think about what do we really need. We don't need these guys anymore. And when we're going to colonize here, it takes 3 months to colonize here. That means 3 in-game minutes, meaning we will need to contest it for a while. So what we're going to do, we're going to build more army buildings to allow for a bigger army. Now let's see, let's have these guys gather food. Also, by the way, the reason as to why I picked negotiation while I'm going for the Yggdrasil win condition is that now I can buy food to colonize this area with. As for the army now, we can actually colonize this. However, we have a blizzard. We're going to be very much leaking now on the resources. So let's wait until after winter is over, or we could try it and go for it now. To be honest, I think let's go for it now actually. More on that in a second. So we need to clear the Valkyries first. Here we go. We have these guys become shield bearers. We need some tanking and some damage. We can remove one woodcutter. We don't need him anymore. We don't even need 2 of them. We can turn them into food. Obviously we need it, but we don't need it that badly. Let's get more throwers. And now, oh well, have this villager go become a hunter. And we don't need brewers anymore either. So let's have them gather food. Now what we're going to do now to achieve the 2000 food, we're going to slaughter our sheep and we're going to buy food. To buy food, by the way, with gold, you need to be sure that you are actually going to win this battle. You need to have enough money to buy more army if you so need it, yeah. Because as you can see here, killing these is quite costly for me. So we have a free feast. We're not going to use it yet. I will explain in a second. Let's buy as much food as we can. And then, for the rest of the food that we need, we're going to slaughter sheep. That gives you 80 food. Colonize. It's going to take 3 months. So what we do, we prepare as best we can. Control group our army again. He will have to come through here. Otherwise he has to go through these guys, which I really doubt he does. Or here. That's going to take him too long. He needs to cross 2 zones. So now, let's take a look. Can we get any stronger army? Yes, we can. Might as well do it. Get more army. Just to reinforce the point we have here. Now, if you've seen my YouTube video about the hunters defending Yggdrasil, you will know that sometimes the map will help you with this a lot, especially in 3v3. Let's say this was a 3v3 match, yeah? I had this tile, this was blocked off, and my ally had this tile. This means you can move all your or transform all your units into hunters by doing like so. Here, move them out. Have these guys become hunters instead. Now, this gives us more hunters, meaning that if he comes from this side, he will have to fight hunters. Plus these 4 hunters, we're now at 10 hunters. More hunters. Let's make more hunters. Yeah. Let's see. Wow, much glitch. That's not a glitch. Not at all. But yeah. Now, 15 hunters. Take a look at their damage. They have 5 plus 1 attack power. They're increased, so they get more damage as well. They have 6 damage. Now, let's compare them to an axe thrower. 11 plus 4. That puts him at 15 versus 6 damage. Now, wow, that's bad, you think. But then again, we couldn't afford more army. So we might as well just put them to hunters to defend with. This also goes for when they're attacking you, not just for when you're getting a Yggdrasil victory. If he were to attack me here in this style, he'd also have to fight in addition to my army here, which is quite hard to kill for him on its own. He would also have to kill 15 hunters, which could easily kill one by one of his units really fast. Plus, when, as you can see, if I get the barricades, they would also improve the HP on them. And I had a free feast from the 500 fame, which would have allowed me to get 20% increased resistance on my army. All in all, would have been really good to defend this tile if he had to go through that to get Yggdrasil. Okay, let's quit. So that's basically how you set up as a goat. You make sure that you have, even if you're not rushing, make sure that you have the gold needed to build an army. You have enough war camps for at least 6 soldiers. If you can scout them, that's good as well. Take a look at their trade. Do they have more gold than you? If so, then you really have to be careful. Well, what was that? What is that? Where is that from? Seriously, that's the second time this has happened, that noise. Did you guys hear it as well, or was that just me? What is it from? That's scary as fuck. Okay, well, whatever. So lore strats are, well, lore. I can do I could do a video on that by itself, man.
New follower.
But yeah, let's see. As for lore, let's make single player. Let's take a look at Goat again to see. Yo, thank you for the follow, by the way. Let's take a look at Goats. Where is it? Yeah, you heard it as well, yeah. That was scary. Second time it's happened. Do you know anything about that? Have you heard it before anywhere? So yeah, as I said, let's take a look at the lore here. Now, obviously if you're going to rush, you will need at least this one. That's self-explanatory. Trading is always the first thing you pick, except if you're a wolf player. Then you want to go into weaponsmith to get a pillager, so that every time you kill an enemy unit you get plus 15 gold. But you don't have that, you have barricades, which is useless as a second pick. You want trading as goat into sharp access. And then you are free to choose, basically. Now, let's say this tile to my right here has 4 sheep in it, 1 field, and so do these tiles as well. Now, I would be able to have so much food, it's insane. My food production would be so sick, meaning I would go straight for coinage, after the sharp axis here. Your merchants, more gold, and carpentry mastery, and then go into food trade. Trading food increases your trading route's crowns income by 100%. So as you saw earlier there, when I traded the Jotnar, they gave me plus 5 crowns. That would have been plus 10 with this lore. Meaning, no, don't know where it comes from. Maybe from Song Request or something. No, Song Request is, I have it paused. It's not from there. I have no idea. It's only happened twice now. But yeah, when you get food here, and you have, let's say, 3 food routes running, you will get plus 30 gold. Plus 30 just from trading away food. And that's 18 negative food, which with all the sick pre-game here I was telling you about, you would have readily available. And as you saw last game, I had plus 50 food and stuff like that. I would have been able to trade it away easily. This would leave me with a really strong food economy, a really strong crown economy, and it would also give my allies extra food. But because when you trade them food, they also get plus 2 in income. So let's take a look at the stats of it then, yeah. In raw food, you and your teammate, you are going -6, it's going +2. You're losing 4 food from your team every 6th of a month. 10 seconds, I think it is. Losing 4 food every 10 seconds, that's not too bad. However, you're gaining plus 10 crowns as well. So for every 4 food that you lose, you get 10 crowns. That's 2.5 for each food, which is even better than the trading ratio you get on marketplace, making it so worth for a goat to trade away his food. Just so worth.